Hi everyone. Do we love this little intimate moment with the lighting? I think it's cute. It's actually just getting dark out. It's like only 4 o'clock. But I really wanted to hop on and film a video for you guys. And I think that the vibe of the video is very fitting for the fragrance we're going to be talking about today. So everyone, let's welcome to the stage Bleue by Guerlain. I'm very happy to be talking about this fragrance because I think it is an absolutely beautiful composition. If you're a lover of vintage fragrances like I am, you'll be very appreciative of this fragrance and kind of the impact that it has had on the perfume industry, because let's face it, Guerlain is one of the most influential perfume houses, I'm gonna say. Oh, you know what? Let's just yeah, that's good lighting. Okay, thank you. Guerlain is one of the most influential perfume houses. They have been creating fragrances for so long, and they're more accessible to the mass public. I mean, they definitely do have their collections that are much more expensive, but in terms of things that were more accessible, I do think that Guerlain is one of those brands. So today we're going to be talking about Bleue by Guerlain. So I'm going to read you a little script from the website of Guerlain, and kind of goes over the inspo for the fragrance, and let's go through that. Okay, so Bleue diffuses its atmosphere at the very moment when the sun disappears beneath the horizon and the sky is painted with night's velvet. Jacques Guerlain celebrates this fleeting moment with an armful of suave and delicate flowers, enveloped in a breath of powder taking wing towards oriental notes. His fragrance, Bleue, is an exquisite ode to the enjoyment of life and romanticism. It superbly expresses the moment when the night has not yet found its star. I think that's a beautiful description. I think it explains the whole vibe of the fragrance perfectly, and yeah, I love it. Now let's talk about the notes in this fragrance, because it'll kind of give you a little bit more of an idea of what you can expect when you're smelling this. So in our top notes for this fragrance, there's anise, neroli, coriander, bergamot, and lemon. And I will say that on first smell, you definitely do smell the anise, but the bergamot and the lemon come in perfectly to create kind of like a balance. So it brings in that little citrus aspect of it. Middle notes in here are heliotrope, carnation, violet, cloves, neroli, ylang-ylang, Bulgarian rose, jasmine, orchid, and tuberose. So you've definitely got some notes in the heart of the fragrance that bring out that powderiness in it that is very much the heart of the fragrance. You're smelling the violet, you're smelling the iris, and those are what's really creating that soft powdery effect. But I will say that this is like a spicy powder. The reason I say that is because with the cloves and the anise and the coriander, and then in the base notes you have iris, vanilla, benzoin, sandalwood, tonka bean, musk, and vetiver. They're not typical notes that you would necessarily find in a powdery fragrance. They do have a little bit more of a dynamic aspect to them. So while it is a powdery fragrance at heart, you are getting spicy elements to it that create a very beautiful and complex fragrance when you're smelling it. Now, when I smell this, it's definitely almost like it's very antique smelling. That's how I would describe the opening notes of this. Is very antique smelling, but it's almost like immediately after you spray that, the violet comes in, the cloves come in, you get a little bit of that ylang ylang. Oh, it's just like the powderiness really comes out. And I love that because I love a powdery fragrance. I'm a huge fan of them. I find them to be extremely romantic, extremely sensual, and I'm really, really happy with this fragrance. I think it's beautiful. If you are a collector of perfumes and you do like things that are vintage, you like things that are powdery, pre-aldehyde days, because I mean, I don't think it's like pre-aldehyde, but no, I feel like aldehydes came more into play in like 1915, 1920. I'm not a huge fan of aldehydes, I'll be honest. I don't like Chanel No. 5. I don't like Arpège by Lanvin. I don't like a lot of these fragrances with aldehydes in them. They give me a headache immediately. And I'm actually fragrance sensitive, which is funny. A lot of people are very surprised when they hear that because I do collect fragrances. But I am very fragrance sensitive. And aldehydes are just like a trigger for migraines for me. But this is beautiful. It's spicy, but it's romantic. It's classy. It's like taking a step back in time. And I love it. I really, really, really love it. If you know someone who has worn this fragrance, go smell it. If you collect fragrances and you like doing blind buys like me, I love doing blind buys. Most of my fragrances are blind buys. I'll just be like online. I'll be on Sephora or I'll be on like Nordstrom or Shoppers or somewhere, and I'm like, okay, we got that. But you can definitely find these on discounted sites as well. So Fragrance Buy, Fragrance Net, Fragrance X, whatever. I do like buying a lot of my perfumes from there, especially if they're discontinued, because you can still find them in, you know, they're good condition and they're authentic fragrances. But this is beautiful. If you're looking for a very classic, mature, vintage fragrance with powdery aspects to it, I highly suggest checking this out. And I love powdery perfumes at nighttime, like if I'm going to bed, or anything that has kind of like a bedtime feel to it. So if I'm wearing a satin slip, or if I have, you know, if I'm going out somewhere and it's very casual with my friends and, you know, it's nothing like we're dressing up too intensely, I love wearing a powdery fragrance. Shut up. So yeah, I really I'm very happy with this fragrance, and I can't wait to talk about more of my perfumes with you guys, because perfume is a huge part of my life. I collect so many fragrances, so I'm really never going to run out of content to film. But I am very, very excited to be bringing you guys on this journey with me and sharing my love of fragrances. And this is Bleue by Guerlain, and it's vintage fragrance that was released 109 years ago, same year that the Titanic sunk. It is a spicy, powdery perfume, and it's beautiful. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.